The Gwangju Biennale was formed at the site of an important popular uprising in 1980 against the US-backed South Korean dictatorship. Today, the Biennale is a neoliberal nightmare where a mixture of commercial art practices and city boisterism have free reign. The exhibition project exhibiting US Imperialism and War was wedged in a small corner of the Biennale and sought to break with that context and with the logic of biennales.
So our exhibition is about US imperialism, and of course imperialism is the highest stage of capitalism. And one of the important things to keep in mind, and of course it's always important to look at capitalism as a double-faceted thing, having always an economic dimension and a territorial dimension.
Indirectly contesting US imperialism, the exhibition broke with the free-floating, random character of today's exhibitions, which mirrors the logic of merchandise consumption of the mall.
Our manner of doing an exhibition is quite unlike the normal manner, which the normative manner today. And one of the things we have is a clear objective. We could say it in three words: take down imperialism, take down the US government, take down its system, its capitalist system. I think it's extremely important to be explicit about that.
The first of four rooms in the exhibition looked at how capitalism's first war is the production of poverty, a fourth world. In the darkened spaces of these rooms, projections and slideshows looked at how this world is produced through imperialist economic policies in Baltimore, New Orleans, and Bolivia. The second room was devoted to war per se, with a special focus on how war is no longer an interruption of business, but its continuation.
We're looking at a few key locations. There's special emphasis given to Colombia, where Plan Colombia, currently Plan Patriot, I believe, or some other equally 1984 language is used to nominate what the U.S. does through its lackey national militaries, through its PMCs, its private military corporations in that area. We also look at, of course, Iraq and Fallujah. There's this tape on Fallujah. And we also have a large diagram in that room, and that diagram looks at the role of private military corporations.
Room 3 looked at mediatic terrorism and the demonization of counterpower. A row of monitors showed how Fox, KBS, CNN conjure up false images of so-called terrorism while covering up and promoting the activity of the central wielder of terror in the world, the United States of America. A slideshow looked at the role of torture camps such as Abu Ghraib and Guantanamo in the contemporary logic of imperial terror. Another screen looked at the persecution of Palestinians. In the narrow space between the third and the final room, the viewer passed by an image of Korean police, encountering that image first via a mirror. Implicated in the image, the viewer passes from being a consumer to an agent, a creator, and not just a consumer of one's reality. The final room was quite different in tone from the previous rooms. Whereas previous rooms had been devoted to exposing and analyzing US imperialism, in the final room, where the wall color changes from blue to yellow and the lights go on, the viewer is invited to join in a popular struggle against US imperialism, the People's War.
It's the rediscovery of the idea that a military can be a good thing, that there can be a human military, a people's military. That's an old idea, but it's kind of disappeared in the past 30 years of anti-globalization, leftism, and other opportunistic tendencies. Because without an army, without a people's army, you always have power on top of you. The people have to seize power. Marxist-Leninists have a name for that, the dictatorship of the proletariat. It's not a new idea. So behind me you see Ho Chi Minh, who understood that. And it's a great hero of people's struggles. And we're also going to paint Hugo Chavez on the wall. And we're also going to paint Comandante Ramona, another part of a people's military, in that case the Zapatistas. This is a reading room. We don't have the answers. It's not the nature of the People's Army the People's Army relies on the people's creativity, on their ability to think of strategies, think of weapons, and that's why the People's Army will win. And so this room is different. It's not so directed. People can read, create, they can use the photocopy machine, and they can think.
The viewer exits the room, passing by a list of the media collectives and others who worked on the project.
Nada se puede lograr si no hay revolución. Reza el rico, reza el amo y te maltratan al peón. Reza el rico, reza el amo y te maltratan al peón. No, no, no basta rezar. Hacen falta muchas cosas para conseguir la paz. No, no, no basta rezar. Hacen falta